You're listening to the Screaming Pods Network.
One quick programming note before we get started. When we recorded this episode, I forgot to turn my mic on, so I am using the internal microphone from my computer. My track sounds a little bit echoey with some background noise. It's not too distracting. The good thing is, Jamie got her mic all fixed, and she sounds great. So my hope is that we will be back on track, finally, with our next episode. All right, that's it. Let's get started. This is a movie. An honest-to-goodness movie that many people at many different levels got together, decided to make, and actually followed through with. I can't believe it. Jamie?
Yeah.
Let's go watch Rhinestone. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. We're an 80s movie podcast, and every other week, we watch a movie from the 80s, and then we talk about it.
That's what we do.
My name's Doug McCambridge, and with me, as always, is Jamie Lorello. Perhaps just fell over. He went out of frame for a second there.
I did. I apologize. I was grabbing a coaster.
Well, we are celebrating the great holiday of Slicegiving.
That's right. I am so excited about Slicegiving.
I think it's our first celebration. We didn't know we were going to do this last year. We did it sort of by accident, so this is the first time we're really acknowledging that this is now a thing that we're going to do. And I think if we had any reservations whether we were going to continue this, I think this movie may have told us that we're doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah. This was all signs pointing to Slicegiving. It's like, you have your Friendsgiving. When you have your friends over, you have your, obviously Thanksgiving. I don't know what else people call it. But there's nothing, I promise, there's nothing like a Slicegiving.
There really isn't, because I don't want to say there were similarities between this and Cobra, because
he doesn't punch a person in this. There's no...
He does not. He does punch that guy once.
Oh, yeah, but it's after she throws so many punches,
That's the joke, Jamie.
I know it.
It's Sly Stallone, and he's not
Rocky,
hitting anyone
and he's not
shooting anybody.
Nope. He's just wearing a lot of tight clothing and jumping around. Before she, does her hardcore dolly country training on him, he's a disaster as a singer.
It's very bizarre because he seems to think that he can sing. When he is,
I think he has a lot of
he's really into it.
He has a lot of enthusiasm.
He does.
Yeah. And that's what really carries his stage performances. I liken later one of his performances. I think in my notes I put that it looks like Elvis drowning, like if Elvis were drowning and singing.
You're talking about at the end when he's wearing that outfit?
Yeah.
Because he really looked like Elvis then. And somebody, one of the paid hecklers at this show, even calls him Elvis or something like that.
Yeah. Well.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right. Let's just.
I don't have anything to say, so let's just go.
Okay, you've introduced us. Let's just get into it now. For as wonderful, or for as Slicegiving as this movie is, as it's a new tradition for us, it is a hard movie to find. I'll make a note of that.
Oh my God. Yeah. I didn't even know when I chose this. I kind of thought, I'm sure it'll be on Netflix or on Amazon Prime. Or even to rent it. I didn't even see anything like you could rent it on iTunes.
No. And I had,
nothing. The DVD was like $55 I saw, and I went, why?
That might be an investment I might want to make. If it's any, I hate to foreshadow, but...
Hey, Patreon people, apparently this is where your money's going. You're not even going to watch it. You're actually just going to frame the DVD and put it on your wall.
It's so I can't tell you. Oh, so I watched it on a terrible quality YouTube. That was like, it was a small framed picture within a larger
it's one of those things where they're like, I guess I can't be forced to take this down if the movie only takes up 1/8 of the frame. It's very strange because I started to watch that one and I went, whoa, this started really abruptly.
It did.
Maybe I missed something.
I assume I just missed some things.
I saw there was another version that was 15 minutes longer. So I ended up watching that one. You probably only missed the opening credits and the closing credits because those closing credits go on forever.
Do they sing the whole time?
I think they sing 3 songs back to back to back.
It's a show. It's a full show because I think they felt their groove. And you know what? I felt it too. Oh, this movie. All right. So
I'd have to say, before we go into how bad of a singer he is, when they sang duets, I thought it was pretty good.
You were charged up? Yeah. Well,
yeah. I mean, she clearly sang over him, definitely.
Yeah, he was, sometimes when they sang together, he would just kind of hum noises next to her.
Yes.
To keep a beat, but it was her voice that you thankfully were here. And
even when she finally puts him on stage in Tennessee, after about 2 minutes, I went, she's just singing. He's not even doing anything anymore.
She's the draw of but anyway, she was great in this, by the way.
She's thought that always she was great.
True.
I have now realized she's great in anything that she does.
Right. You fell for Dolly at our Smoky Mountain Christmas. We should,
I don't want to spoil anything. Smoky Mountain Christmas is better. I would watch that over this.
You what?
To me, I would watch that again before this. We'll get to it. There was a point in this movie where I had checked out.
Oh.
I enjoyed about the first hour.
Oh, okay. And then it was too much of the singing and too much of the...
It wasn't that it was too much. It was... Okay, I will fix this movie for people that want to recut this movie right now. And you won't miss a thing. After they have sex, the movie needs to cut directly to him about to perform in New York.
Yeah.
We don't need that fight, whatever that thing was.
And when she talks to the random woman who we don't ever see, she confides in this one.
The waitress from the beginning. Yeah.
But we don't. It's not like she's her friend or confidant. And she
It is such a heart-to-heart between these two characters that seemingly have never met before.
I was listening. I'm like, because again, I think Dolly's performance in this, she's good. She's Dolly. She's wonderful. Her outfits, again, her too, with her cowboy hats and her...
She looks ridiculous. At the beginning of this movie, she looks crazy.
And that white
even
thing?
At the beginning, I went... Did she look like this in Smoky Mountain Christmas? Because she doesn't look like a human being.
Oh, she looked...
At the beginning. Like, that wig that she's wearing at the beginning is so big. It is so big. And anytime they have wide shots where her waist is so tiny.
I know.
And her hair is probably about 1/8 of her body weight. And then later she's wearing a cowboy hat, I guess... pinned just to the back of her head.
Oh,
it's
so
just
stylish. So
stuck to the back of that giant wig.
Yeah.
She looked better when she sort of settled into her country roots.
Yeah, when she was back in Tennessee. Yeah. Well, when you work at the Rhinestone, you have a sort of image you have to keep up, I guess. I don't know.
How many country music bars do you think there are in
I
New
love
York?
that the Asians... Okay, let's get into this.
Let's go.
Okay. All right, so I don't know. The first few minutes, I guess what you're saying that I missed because of the copy I had, I think it was basically just the credits and the...
Did you hear her yodeling? That's what the first song was. It was a lot of Dolly yodeling, and I really
all of her
enjoyed it.
performances in this were wonderful. So it opens up with a Dolly performance. So I only caught the tail end of it, but already you're hooked. You're like, Dolly is singing, and it's a bar situation, and it's so great. And then you find out that she's at this bar called the Rhinestone, the only country bar, or a country bar, I guess, in the middle of New York City. She's in the city doing her singing thing. Her name is Jake. Is that her character's name? Jake?
halfway into this movie, I went, did he just call her Jake? The whole time I went, oh, I guess her name's Jake. But I had never heard anyone refer to her by name until they had been in Tennessee for a very long time.
Yeah, I think in my head the whole time she was just Dolly. And he was sly, to be honest.
I think he got on stage and he's like, I'm going to sing a song. I can't even do a Sly Stallone, but I'll get into it. But
I need you to.
I think he gets on stage and he's like, I'm going to sing a song that Jake wrote. I went, who the hell is Jake? What is that her dad?
Is that the guy that they're fighting with? I thought that was... Well, it is. She doesn't carry as a Jake, but whatever. So
she does. First of all, Jake is a man or a male dog.
Maybe Jack Hay? I don't know.
Okay, all right. I'd watch a movie with Jack Hay and Dolly Parton in it.
Oh, yes, I would too. That would be wonderful. She has a manager, I guess he is. He's kind of like a pimp in a weird way. The manager, Freddie, is like this creepo who she works with, and he does a good job of playing a creepo too, that actor.
Yes.
It
gets
in a fun...
It's a little over the top.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We're 20 minutes in this movie, and I was like, I'm just watching this guy hit on her for 15 minutes.
Well, what about later
straight?
when he's in his robe? I shouldn't have said he does a good job. I didn't necessarily mean that. He was over the top for sure.
I like it when he tells Sly at the end of this movie, he's like, can you just give me a couple minutes? I'm really not that good. It won't take that long. Stallone's dad might be my favorite character in this movie.
Oh,
that guy is so weird. He's like, do you see that body on her? Do you think you can handle it? If you can't handle it, call me. And then he gets real serious. He's like, I mean it, goddammit, call me.
What does the mom say he could be a pastry chef? That's what she says.
Yeah. I don't understand the family dynamic.
I don't
know. They run a morgue, a funeral home.
Not
a morgue.
No, it's a funeral home.
But then at the end, I think they're in the funeral home, but it looks like it's
when they're
a
having
restaurant.
that party. When they're having that party,
yeah,
is it like
the
a party
welcome
for him?
back to New York son who's been gone for a week.
He's been gone for. Yes. I don't know.
He's a grown man.
Well, I think he lives with them, clearly.
So sure.
He is a crazy... Okay, so she
There's the organ in the organ room. Of course.
I want you to come to my house so you can see my organ. I mean, just that line. They played that all out just so he could say that line.
It kept going. And there's a guy in the background trying to buy a hot dog who just keeps turning around.
What about when he plays the organ for the funeral, for the people at the funeral?
And then I was like,
Tutti
does
Frutti.
he do this? Is his job to play the organ during funerals?
No, his job is as a taxi driver. And when we're introduced to him...
Yes.
But when we're introduced to him, he's got the passion. He's passionate about being a taxi driver. He's terrible at it, mind you. He's the worst driver ever.
But he loves it.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. He is passionate about this job. So much that he wants a cab of his own to do what?
Uh-huh.
I don't understand. I guess he's going to start his own business or just go off on his own.
He loves it. He is driving through the streets of New York. She is performing at this bar called Rhinestone. When we meet Sly as a cabbie, not only is he a reckless driver, he's driving a group of Asians to sushi.
Yep.
To a sushi restaurant. And he doesn't understand sushi. He has a whole conversation with them.
Do you think, during these Stallone comedy moments,
oh my God,
do you think that he was given a script? Do you think, especially when he's sitting down with Barnett at that bar and they are just yuck. They are the fastest of friends, and every word out of their mouths have nothing to do with what the person just said to them.
It's like they're in a not listening game of improv or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of fast talking, don't you feel like the dialogue when they talk to each other in this movie, it goes so fast? Like I think because they're trying to go, especially between him and Dolly and then him too, and I think they want to get to the next joke or the next punchline
Yep.
so quickly that they kind of spitfire their lines
He
out.
rushes
Yeah.
every line like
Yes.
he has somewhere else to be.
Uh-huh.
And this was a movie that I was so sad I had to watch it online because I really could have used closed captions.
I agree.
When they are making out before they turn out the light, it is just muttering. And I was like, I don't even know what he's saying.
She's
to her
got
right
that
now.
accent, and he kind of's got that weird. Did they talk about hog balls at some point?
They do.
They
because
do?
her
Okay.
dad says, like, he's so excited that someone
Do you
has
want to see the hog balls? Is that what he says? All right, because I wrote that down. And I
And
was like,
she is all about it. And Stallone is like, are you guys talking about hog balls? This is what Tennessee's like, right?
oh my god.
When they're dropped off in front of a general store out of the movie Tombstone.
Leaper's Fork is like 25 minutes away from me, that town.
What?
Yes. Yes. When you come to Tennessee, we are going. We're going.
Oh.
We go there. Well, we haven't been there in a while, but it's like this tiny little town, like this little itty bitty nothing of a town that's just like got these shops and a barbecue place.
When I come down, we're going, and you're taking a picture of me petting a duck, and that'll be that. I'll be like, I'll bet this is the great-great-grand duck of the duck that was in this scene with Stallone.
How great was that when he's talking to the... And he has to ride a cow when they're trying to make him a
Why
cowboy.
is he riding a cow? They say, we'll get you a horse, and he's like, cow. And
I don't know. Maybe he's afraid of horses.
are they
I
trying
don't
to
know.
trick him? There's so many lines I wrote in this movie. I just don't get it. I like later on, sorry, I don't mean to keep jumping around, but I love it when they're sitting at the table when they're proposing this bet to him. And
Uh-huh.
he says to Tully, he's like, would you like to dance or, like get romantically involved? Like, what a pickup line slide. That's pretty amazing.
Is this when they're at talking to her boss, the Freddie?
Yes. Yeah, because then he keeps interrupting and Stallone's like, I'm working here. Just
Yeah.
hang on a second.
Is this also when he's in that guy's apartment and he falls over himself checking out the guy's his
What
table
is
that
this?
has the legs
Oh.
and the giraffe statue? He's talking
This
to it.
reminded me so much of Cobra when he has that giant hamburger.
Oh yeah.
It's like he's a prop comic because he's just talking to inanimate objects the whole time.
Oh, Slice Giving, you're so good to us. You're so good to us, Slice Giving. We are thankful.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do like when he tells the Japanese people, he's like, oh, you're an American now. You gotta eat Italian. I thought that was kind of a funny joke.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
he delivered it well.
Yeah.
But they want to have truly American food or the American experience. So they want to go to a cowboy
Well,
place.
yeah, they changed their mind to Cowboy Place after he drives like a lunatic.
What he does to this cabbie is criminal. And I thought maybe he was just like a rogue cabbie because when she goes to where he works and she's describing everything, the boss is like, I don't have anybody here like that. Nobody brought a cab back that's all smashed up. And that's when I thought, oh, yes, he's just doing this on his own.
It's amateur night at this. Well, I guess every night is amateur night almost. Dolly is the main,
it
or
seems to be.
Jake is the main kind of sell, I think, at this Rhinestone.
Just call it Dolly. Don't call it Jake. That's so weird.
No, it is. Oh, Jake.
Jake. No, nobody ever calls her anything else, right?
I don't.
Does her dad call her Jake?
I don't think they call her by anything.
Was this part written for a man, or they just never changed the name?
How?
All right. Okay. No, go ahead.
No, I think they were trying to make her be spunky, and maybe it's supposed to be like Jacqueline, and they call her Jake. I don't know. They didn't get into it.
Oh. You might
Does
be
that
right.
make you feel better? Does that make it a little better? Okay.
It does, yeah.
But we'll call her Dolly because no one
Sure.
calls her Jake
Yeah.
or Jacqueline. Her and Freddie get into this bet, this owner of this Rhinestone, that in order to get out of her contract, which sounds like a horrible contract.
It
She's
sounds
been
like
at
a
this place
terrible
for like
contract.
5 years.
And how far into this contract, like how many more of this 5 years does she have to do this? Because this, like, sexual aggression, like this rapey dude
Yeah.
is all over her the whole time, and you assume it's happening every night.
Yeah.
So how long has she had to deal with this? Like, if she's like 2 weeks into a 5-year contract, I kind of get it. She's like, I cannot do this.
What's the kind of deal we got to make? How do I try to get out of it?
Yeah. But does she have 1 year left? Because if so, she might be able to make it. I don't know.
You're like, I'll give her a pep talk or two. I think she'll be all right. So she makes a bet with him, basically that she can train, like make someone into a country music star or a country music singer. And their bet is kind of the first person they see, right? Originally. And then there's like 2 homeless people that they come across.
Oh my God. The fact that he makes a homeless man sing like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star or something like that is kind of upsetting.
Yeah. It's very bizarre.
I don't want to gloss over this wonderful little number. The reason why this whole bet happens is because he brings up this amateur singer
the angry guy
who sings this song. He's so hostile to the audience.
He
which I
bends
love.
the mic stand in half in front of them. Yeah. He gets on stage and he's got such aggression, and then he sings this song about running somebody over. Somebody getting run over by a tractor.
His wife, in her wedding dress, decides to plow the fields. Her dress gets caught in the tractor, and she's, I guess, shredded.
Wow.
And as the lyrics go, because at first the crowd's like, oh, this guy's actually pretty good.
Yeah, he sounds good.
As the lyrics and this story progress, everyone starts laughing. And my favorite part is at the end of the song, he goes, what? This really happened, and they erupt into laughter in this place.
It's an interesting crowd.
Yeah, it is an interesting crowd. And the guy, the owner of this bar, whatever his name is, what's his name?
I think it's Freddie.
EDFU? That's what it was. This was his big find. Like, he brings a guy in to check out this act, and it's not going well. So, yeah, that's when they make this bet.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a win-win for both of them if the bet goes. But for him actually, if she loses, if she loses, he makes a bet where she's got to sleep with him, and she seems pretty confident.
Like another 5-year deal.
Yes, her losing deal is a shitty deal, but she seems confident.
Terrible.
She's confident that she could do it, so she's like, "No, I'm just gonna show me literally the first." But so the joke is the first 2 people are homeless, literally these homeless people. Yes. And then she says, "Okay, well, the next person, truly the next person that comes in front of me." And Stallone is cabbing those little Asians around. And he says later that it was because he saw her. He saw Dolly all dollied out on the street. And he turned the car and crashed it. So he arrives, literally.
Because he jumps out of the car when he hits the curb. And I thought he jumped out and was like, did you see? Whoa. And the scene just kind of peters out. Like, him frantic, confused.
He's very spazzy throughout this movie. He's a big spazoid. But yeah, I think he says something about... He is
trying so hard. He is trying so hard. I've never seen him just, again, try as hard as he is in this movie.
So much effort on the...
Yeah, and most of the time, if you watch Rambo or if you watch Rocky or any of them, he's really effortlessly doing what he's doing in that, for better or worse. But in this, man, he is like, I'm bringing my A game. Yeah. I assume he was early to set every day.
I think he was. And he was ready. I think in between takes, he was doing like jumping jacks and then having a big pot of coffee and ready for his next line delivery. He was like, ba-da-dum.
Yeah, there were moments in this movie, at one point, I don't remember what was going on, and I looked and I was like, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would be on cocaine, but maybe at this time in his life, something was going on.
His first performance in Tennessee, when he just starts banging on the guitar and singing Old MacDonald.
Yelling. There's a cow, and then he starts barking, and he goes, no, I know what a cow does. He goes, moo. He goes, moo. Like, this is the take that you kept.
They just told him to go. They said, well, when you start out, Sly, you're going to be a bad singer, and then she's going to teach you to be a better singer. And I think they realized he's never going to be a good singer. He's just not. So their duets are powerful, as you said, but
it was almost as though he was overcompensating. Like even when I become a good singer, I'm not going to be good. So I am going to throw myself into this bad singing. Like, I am going to do the worst job possible. Well, this is when they bring him in for a bet, and he's not into it, and he finally leaves.
Yeah.
And the next day, she shows up at the cab place.
Yep, because she's determined to win this bet, and she thinks she can do this, right?
Every line of dialogue he delivers in this movie is crazy. He drives him in the cab, which seems so it's so just beat to hell.
Yeah.
And he gets out, he's got a sport coat and a yellow shirt, like checkered like a cab, and he says to his boss, he's like, I love my job. I dress like a taxi. And his boss starts talking to him, and he goes, you insult my clothes? I'm a trendsetter. I'm like, that has nothing to do. You were just fired. What is your problem?
That's right. He does. But he's just spitting out, he just spits out these jokes as often as he can. Or just this.
It's like he's ignoring huge chunks of dialogue
just
to get to the jokes.
After this is when he goes back to her place she goes back to his place for the first time, right?
Well, first they go to finally make this bet with.
They make it official with Freddie.
F.U. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is when he talks I wrote it down because he talks to a stuffed peacock and he goes, I loved you on the A-Team. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. There was never a peacock on the A-Team. He looks at him at a model of a bald figure and says how sad it is. I guess it had radiation. So weird. And I don't know if these lines were written down.
Or if they were like, here you are. I
can't imagine anybody wrote this stuff down for him. And then, we get a lot of big organ jokes.
Oh, yeah, because he invites her to see his organ.
Because he does accept the bet.
Yeah.
And it is because he wants a cab.
Yeah, they make another deal where
in addition to her getting her contract torn up, he will get his own cab.
Which is his dream, because at this point, his dream is to be a cabbie, professional cabbie.
It's all he wants in life. It's all he wants in life, which makes his turn near the end of this movie even more hilarious.
But he got the love for the stage. He explains that. I love how sharp she is to him, too. She is, by the way, even like you had mentioned how that sleazy, Freddie's pretty sleazy to her.
Yeah.
She is Dolly through and through throughout this. She kind of turns down all the, any sexual advances, even with, she's ballsy and bossy with Sly in the beginning. She's Dolly.
Yeah.
It's
I really
fun.
had a feeling that they weren't going to get together. I really thought that she and Stallone, it was going to be a very professional relationship. I really thought that, after the bar stuff and after the bar fight and after, this guy that she used to be engaged to, I really thought,
I think it would have been nice if they kept it with that. They didn't need it. Yeah, because
No, they didn't need it, but, I mean, it's not like they laid it on too thick or anything.
No, it was very funny. They're little sex scene, very just shaded and dark. A lot of hair, I guess, on both their parts. Big hair.
When they were kissing, all you saw was the back of her giant wig. And I was like, I'm not even sure that they're kissing.
Oh.
Could you imagine these two as a couple? If you saw them in real life walking down the road.
When they were doing that one duet, that first duet that they do together, and they're all, oh my God. I was like, what an adorable little couple these two are. Look at them. I can see it. I don't, but I do. And throughout this, well, for the sake of the movie, they have all these little fights, these little bickers that they have.
I enjoyed their interaction in this
too.
movie. I thought they played off of each other very well because they really did look like they were having such a good time.
Oh, they looked like they were having a blast together. I think that was the other thing.
Yeah, we'll get to Tutti Frutti in a couple seconds, but I mean, I think that was genuine laughter and a genuine
when she was watching. Yes, I agree.
Because how could you not? He looks like an escaped mental patient. Got a hold of an organ.
He does. I think that was it too. I think, like you said, did someone write these lines? I think it was one take, and they were like, "There you go."
Got it. Got it. Great.
All right, so now is when they get to go back to his place, which he lives above. He makes her climb a fire escape to get upstairs because it's above a funeral home. He does live with his parents, which you don't realize at first because, again, they're climbing a fire escape. And he literally takes her to see his organ, his big organ, in the organ room.
Again, great line here where she's like, well, why don't we walk through the door? Well, you can walk through the door if you want to go through all the corpses and the coffins and the zombies.
And the zombies.
Wow. Yeah. It's your family business.
Yeah. Oh, Thanksgiving, you're so good to us.
I was having so much fun at this point. It really, like I said, like the first half of this movie, I was having so much fun with this. Yeah. This is where I was like, this is a lost classic. How is this movie not talked about continuously?
How did I move to Tennessee and not watch this movie? When I go to Leaper's Fork, I say, oh, yeah, this is where Justin Timberlake lives. Because he does, supposedly, is where he...
Who cares?
No, I don't care about that. This, Rhinestone, Leaper's Fork, Rhinestone. Yes. That's what I'm connecting. Forever now. Forever.
I know I talked about this when we did Smoky Mountain Christmas. How Dolly went from L.A. to Tennessee.
Yeah.
How about how Dolly goes from Tennessee to New York, back to Tennessee? How about your bizarre life paralleling Dolly's as far as where she goes and lives in her movies?
I never thought about that, but accurate.
We have only seen Dolly in 3 of the, I'm going to say 4 cities you've lived in.
Yeah.
If she shows up in like Scranton or Pocono Mountain in a movie, I will lose my mind if we watch a movie and she's like, I got to go to Pocono Mountain High School or
whatever.
Where
does 9 to 5 take place? Are they up in Scranton? Are they working at a paper mill? I don't know.
Did she ever do a guest spot on The Office?
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
That is an interesting parallel, and I'll take closely to it. Because, it didn't fall short on me, the whole New York to Tennessee. I just...
Right.
When she goes to Tennessee... And you're right, her hair's a little looser. Her dresses aren't as poofy.
Well, no, she just trades those dresses in for flannel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the tightest of jeans.
I know. But that was Dolly then, or is now still.
Oh, sure. No, she's the exact same. Yeah.
That's her look. They have a quick dinner with his parents. We get to meet.
Dinner's very tense. Like this is an uncomfortably tense dinner, and I didn't quite understand why.
No,
his dad's making eyes at her the whole time.
This is when he says that creepy thing about, "Can you handle that body?" I don't know. Can you handle it?
I mean it. Just call me, damn it. And even later on, he's like, "You didn't call me." And his dad looks like Henry Winkler looks now. Did you notice this guy? Yeah.
But taller, yeah.
Anyways, tall next to Stallone. And they just found the 2 tiniest people, Stallone and Dolly Parton, and they matched them up, and it's great.
And it's adorable. But he says he's going to go and do this with her and go to Tennessee for, I think it's like a week, 2 weeks?
He has 2 weeks from the time that they made this bet.
Yeah. Okay.
Which the time frame doesn't make much sense, because I love how when he's performing in Tennessee at the end, before she calls him on stage, she's like, and he's going to perform in New York City tonight, or tomorrow night, and then they're in New York, and then she goes, tomorrow night, we're going to start performing.
Oh, yeah, and then when they finally do the final concert, it's not
that same day. It's not the day that he has, like, that weird family party.
No.
Who knows how long she confides in the stranger that she meets on a darkened stage.
She just let it out. She just had to
let somebody know. That waitress came out of nowhere.
Oh, I know. She
just emerged from the shadow.
And had a lot of background information and was ready to just be a soothing confidant.
She's like, remember me from an hour and 45 minutes ago?
I think I might have served you a drink.
Yep, I'm still in this movie. All right, anyway. They're in Tennessee.
Anyway.
And why is he wearing a bow tie?
Well, he decides that he wants to impress them, I guess.
I don't
So
know.
he's got a bow tie and some weird secret handshake that he tries to do with all of them, like a weird high five thing. And they actually, I think they say to her something like, is he a little slow or something, like, is he all right?
That's a joke that happens twice, but it never comes back. Like, I thought it was something that everybody was going to say, but I think those guys who are whittling on the porch.
Oh, then doesn't he ask them what they're making, and then they're like, is it hog balls? No.
No. They say something like an oven or something. It's kind of silly.
They're not nice to him.
He says hello to them, but he doesn't say howdy.
Yeah.
So I guess he's an asshole. Like, it's so weird the way that Dolly's like, just say howdy to them.
Yeah.
Like, really? You can't just say hello? Like, what? And so much of this training is about him pretending to have a Southern accent and learning to walk correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big part of knowing how to be well, because, again, I think she knew right away that there was going to be a limit to the actual singing rehearsing.
I know, but I needed like a montage. I needed
I was waiting. There was a time when I thought the montage was coming. I was like, oh, here we go, montage. And then it doesn't. It doesn't happen. Again, we got to spit those jokes out. We got to say the funny. We got to...
I guess so.
I think like, Sly drank his silly juice, and he was like, I just got to get all this out. And so they let him.
I got to get this out. Can we shoot the Drinkenstein scene again? Drinkenstein. And who wrote that song? Where did it come from? How did he know all the words? They just showed up. Dolly's dad is played by Academy Award winner Richard Farnsworth in this movie, and I was surprised when I saw him in this movie, and surprised for pretty much how good he was in this movie.
Oh yeah, he plays a wonderful dad, a good...
He's playing in that band where they sing the Too Much Water song,
where
they just say too much water over and over and over again.
Very bluegrassy, I guess. Very like... This is now, again, we're at like the small little town that Dolly is supposedly from, and her whole neighbors, family, loved ones.
After this Too Much Water song, she brings him up to sing, but all he does is scream. He screams, and he bangs on the guitar. He doesn't even try to play it. He like hits it with his hand. He's hitting the drums with his hands too, the guy behind him.
He just starts like a child. Children actually at the thing are scared. They turn away, they're frightened.
Animals run away.
Yeah, the dogs howl. He sings Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and he sings something else, doesn't he, before Old MacDonald, or does he just get up there and start screaming? I think he starts screaming.
That was when he was just screaming. I love when Richard Farnsworth comes up and covers the microphone and goes, "That was scary, son." And then he makes him say Old MacDonald. And then he tells him to pronounce dog. It's dog. Dog.
I love it when Sly does it. Sly imitates it back. Dog. Dog.
Oh, dog.
Dog. Dog. And now even the dad's in on it. He's like, we are going to teach this guy how to be a cowboy. And then we get kind of a montage, not really, but we get to see him riding a cow,
a
not
baby
even a
cow,
horse.
like it is a tiny cow too.
He chops some wood, which he doesn't do well.
Why is he? None of this has anything to do with singing.
And then he's talking to her about, learning about being a cowboy, and he steps in shit.
Is this when he's wearing the shirt with the cameras printed on it? Like he's wearing a bunch of cameras around his neck? They're just printed on this shirt.
Again, lovely wardrobe choices. Just lovely.
She yells at him because he doesn't mix his peas and mashed potatoes together.
Oh, this is part of the cowboy training.
Yep.
He's got to eat like a cowboy. This is when he's wearing the skeleton shirt now.
I loved that with the rib cage. And even on the back, the spine is there. Oh, I want that shirt so badly.
She's in a fabulous little red dress that she looks. But anyway, he's got to sop up his peas with the biscuit or some kind of crap.
Yeah.
She's got a whole rule for how you. Now they have their bickering. They have these moments where they fight like a little old married couple. It's adorable. And she gets frustrated with him for not eating right, and he's like saying what a bore she is, and he just needs to loosen up and have some fun. And she's so serious, and even she says something. Oh, and she calls him a bum. This is when they have a fight. And
that throws him over the edge.
Because he has an uncle, his brother's a bum or something, a real life bum, he said. He tells her later that he has a bad,
Later on, he does tell a sad story. And the girl he went to the prom with is like
a bum?
prostitute
She's a bum?
or a bum. It's pretty great. Because it's a scene that is full of laughs, but is played so straight. Like, just so straight. And I couldn't imagine at the time, like, or people in the theater, they had to have been laughing hysterically at this.
So they have this fight because she's being hard on him about being a cowboy, teaching him how to eat, right? And he goes this is funny, when he goes for a walk and he's out and it's pitch black because she lives in the country and he can't see anything. And then some guy pulls up in a truck and it's just this creepy guy. And he scares the shit out of Sly because the guy just like opens and he's like worse than like Pee-wee, like that Large Marge sent you. It's just this creepy guy that's like, get in. Sly's like, no.
Sly, like, it's an audible like, whoa. I don't need a ride. My car, it's right there.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm surveying these roads. What do you think of this road that you're, the road that you're driving on right now? He's so weird.
And the guy just keeps saying, get in.
Right.
Get in. And then Sly tells him, you better move it along because there's traffic. I'm just like,
you're causing a traffic jam here. I told you I'm working. Yeah. I'm working right here. I'm working on this road. Again, it's just Sly with the funnies. It's just him like cutting right to the jokes.
He finds himself at a bar, and this is where he meets up with, what's this guy's name?
Barnett. Is his name.
Barnett.
Yes.
He meets up with this Barnett. He doesn't know at first that this person is, but when he meets up with this guy, he's at this bar, and he obviously sticks out a little bit. This guy kind of nudges his way over to him and starts saying, like, oh, you're from New York? Asks him, what's it like to have heroin? Like people in New York do heroin?
Let me ask you
I don't know.
something. What's it like to shoot heroin? He asked him how the mafia's doing.
Yeah.
I like it when he sits down and he's like, he gets his beer and he's like, I like my beer real foamy.
Yeah, and it's just a pure cup of foam. It's not even.
These two are great in this scene. Like, I could just watch them on stage do this over and over again. Yeah. Because then he starts freaking, after he asks him heroin, he's yelling, and then Stallone says something under his breath like, oh, I hate cowboys. And he goes, cowboys? Where's a cowboy? And he jumps up and he looks around. And the whole time, I loved it because Stallone's like, you're a little strange, aren't you, pal? You're a weird buckaroo.
Yeah, he says, you're a strange buckaroo.
And then they talk about each other's shirts.
What is yours? Like an autopsy? Because he's got the skeleton shirt on. And yours has got slug trails. Like, again, I feel like it was a game of improv. Just talk to each other. Make each other. You're in a bar.
And they are cracking each other up.
Oh, man.
Like, they're the best of friends in no time.
Oh, yeah. It just clicks for them. They're both the same kind of loony, right?
Yeah, pretty much, actually.
Yeah.
Dolly has a type in this movie.
Right? They bust party all night because this is what the next day he wakes up with the chickens and the ducks, basically. Yep. Daffy and the guys, as he calls them.
I like when he tells her she sounds like baby
Hitler.
Like
baby Hitler? Well, because she's like, you're drunk, you were drinking, you were hungover, and he's like, you're like a baby Hitler. He finds out, she says, who did you drink with all night, or who are you hanging out with? He said, I met this great guy, this Barnett guy, and as it turns out, she's got relations with Barnett. She just leaves and goes in the other room or in the house and starts breaking shit and screaming and is pissed.
Oh, then she calms down and sings by the fire. Like it is her yelling, screaming, smashing stuff. Smash cut to just sitting by the fire, just noodling
singing
on the
about
guitar,
her
having a good
emotions.
time.
Just singing about her emotions. And this is when he tells her about the bums in his life. Next.
Oh, man. I
have in my thing. What is he wearing?
What kind of outfit? This is just a joke, right? Because it's beautiful. Just a joke she's playing on him. It's a crazy, like that
so
hat
amazing.
Is crazy.
The hat's got two. Is it raccoon tails?
It's like two raccoon tails sticking out of the sides, like his Pippi Longstocking.
And it's like these bright red pants.
Oh
and
my
this
god, a yellow, like a mustard yellow.
And then like it's blue, like a dark, like blue.
I don't. And what is this song? Drinkenstein. What is this song? Is this like Budweiser product placement? They're like, well, I guess you could use our product if you sing a song about how if you get drunk, you turn into a horrible monster that I assume is beating his wife. And did you notice the guy playing guitar behind Stallone during this? He cannot keep his shit together. This guy is laughing the entire time.
Oh, no, I didn't notice. I wish I had.
It's so funny to watch.
Because how could you not? How could you not? She does. Right?
She is kind of into it. Like, she's having a good time with it. Mm-hmm. She's laughing. And afterwards, this is when she's teaching him then how to walk like a cowboy.
Have a dip in his hip.
Right,
Barnett then shows up. Now, she's been trying to teach him how to walk, and then Barnett comes around and easily teaches him how to walk.
Yes.
Some tension there.
And Barnett takes him out drinking again.
They're buddies. They're
such buddies. This is when I wrote my notes. Did Barnett make a bet with someone that he could turn Sly into an alcoholic? Because he's smashed. Like, he almost drives his Jeep through that bar.
This is the bar that Dolly shows up at and the fight happens, right? Dolly shows up in this strapless dress. This is when the bar fight happens because she's dancing. She starts to dance with Nick, by the way. So she's Jake and he's Nick. I know we call him Sly, but he's Nick Maloney or something, I think.
I thought it was more Italian than that.
Miscelli?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
She's danced with him. It kind of does make Barnett a little jealous.
Mm-hmm. It sure does.
And she kind of stands up for Nick before a fight even really goes down, right? And he goes, "What are you, my manager or something?"
This was around the time the movie started not working for me. Yes. I don't know. Maybe I was a little burned out on the Sly one-liners at this point.
Yeah, you'd had enough.
Yeah. But here, Barnett sucker punches him. She won't let him fight back. And she actually makes him leave.
Yeah, she says that it's all going to go downhill if he does. I like after he's been punched after he's been punched and fell to the floor, she comes up. Do you all your teeth still in? That's her concern.
Right, yes,
you still got all your teeth, right?
Yeah, I don't want you up there whistling. I wrote down these lines after they get in the car, because I think Stallone missed some lines in the script here, like he's been doing. Because he gets in the car and he's like, "I put you above everybody. I didn't know you were engaged to this guy. I think that's a terrible thing. You know what? I thought about it. I think it's okay." Wow. Whoa. I assume Dolly had some lines in there somewhere that she was supposed to say.
And he just delivered all of his. Like, he just had them up here.
It was just a run-on sentence.
Yep. He's like, "Dolly, don't stop me. Don't stop me, Dolly. Because I've got to just keep going." This is when he talks about he made a vendetta, and vendettas were invented by Italians.
That reminds me of, do you remember the movie I Love You to Death? With Kevin Kline.
Oh, yeah.
Where Kevin Kline tells somebody that America is an Italian country. And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "It was discovered by one Italian and named after another one. Of course it's an Italian country."
This is when I could have used a montage. I thought we were going to get a montage.
I
singing
wrote
by
in
the
my
water.
notes, finally training montage, and it just didn't happen.
It doesn't become a montage. They're singing by the water, and they're singing for her dad, who's like snoring and sleeping.
Right.
And then that's it. We don't get, because you're right. Where's the training? I haven't seen 1 ounce of real singing train
No!
happening.
Not at all. I saw him perform Drinkenstein, and it was maybe worse than when he sang Old MacDonald.
Right? But no guitar lessons.
She does keep saying things like, do you want me to show you those chords? Like, but we don't see any training.
No.
We don't see him learn chords. He's playing a guitar at one point. I'm like, I don't think he knows how to play guitar.
Well, he played the organ, I guess.
We saw him hitting it a few scenes earlier.
Yeah. Oh, so besides an almost montage, we get sort of an almost, they're making moves, but then it doesn't happen, right?
Yes.
And this is...
We get a nod to the Waltons TV show here where they show the exterior of the house and it's like, good night, Sly. Good night, Dolly. And all the lights go out one by one.
So now he's been trained, none of which we've really seen.
Yep. No, he's much better.
He's ready for his Tennessee performance and and he's nervous. And then those guys walk in. Barnett walks in with two of his friends and his nerves shoot up a little more because they're not going to be, necessarily good to him.
And Dolly's feeding him lines.
Yeah.
Like good comeback lines. This is when I wrote, Stallone's stand-up is pretty great. Like, he should just do stand-up because he is just right and left.
He falls and right into...
He's got the audience on his side.
Yep.
And it was actually
he's cracking jokes
good.
at Barnett.
Yes.
Yeah. And then does he sing? He never sings.
He sings? No, he sings. This is the first time they sing that. We went to bed as strangers and we woke up.
We went to bed as strangers and we woke up in love.
Yeah, I wanted them to say best friend. Like, we woke up best friends because every time I was like, oh, that rhymes with that. But it was never
but
that.
It was not.
We woke up in love. It's adorable. It's a duet.
And as it should be because we don't want him to sing.
Of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they have a lovely little, energy together.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah.
They do, but we watched them sing this entire song 2 times in this movie. Yeah. That's a problem. I don't think you can do that.
Well, if you're Dolly Parton, you can sing the same song over and over and over again, and it's just... And then if you're Sly, I don't know.
Well, you have limited range.
You got
to do what you can do.
You can only do exactly. And they add a little more pizzazz to the second time they sing it. Not much, but
You're
a little.
When he goes out on stage and starts singing it very slowly and awkwardly with I don't think any music being played. No. And then I was ready for him to go crazy. Because at the end, when he turns around to the band, he's like, let's pick it up, let's do this. Yeah. And then he turns around and he's like, and he's like, if I'm going down my way. And I was like, oh no, is he just going to start
I thought he was going to just do like a thrasher kind of crazy.
I wrote down, I want Drinkenstein again. And it wasn't. He just sings the same song a little bit faster.
Yeah, he speeds it up. He makes it his own in a sense.
This is when, after the song and after they're kind of a big hit, Barnett is still very upset.
Well,
and this is when, I guess, the closest thing to a fight in this movie breaks out.
But again, she throws the punch.
She hits Barnett. He falls down. They're bickering back and forth like a couple of, cops in a buddy cop movie. And then every time he comes up, one of them punches him and he falls back down again. But they're arguing the whole time, and every time she hits him, Sly's very upset that he wasn't the one who hit him.
That he wants to, come on, I gotta...
And then they get him to sing another song, and thankfully it fades out.
Oh yeah, this is the fade out song, that's right. Yeah. I love that, because we're treated to yet another, but with a fade out, we feel a little more calmer about it.
And why is Richard Farnsworth trying to give Sly Stallone
I didn't understand this interaction. He doesn't want this suit. He realizes this, and he's trying to push it on Stallone, and Stallone finally is like, I gotta tell you, you have terrible taste. This is not good. And he's like, I know.
He's like, I know. I've been trying to give people this suit for 20 years. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dry clean it, and then I'm going to burn it. Yeah. Why are you cleaning it? Just burn it.
And why do we even talk? Was that the suit that he wore when he did Drunkenstein? Is that he's trying to gift him that suit?
I don't. Do we even see the suit? We don't even see the suit, right?
I don't know. I don't know
it's
why.
It's just like in a dark room, and we don't see it. But the suit comes up again, because then he goes to tell, and he's like, your dad's trying to give me this suit. And she goes, oh, he tries to give that to everybody. Oh, Dolly's back. Okay.
Yeah, I heard it.
I've missed Dolly so much since Christmas. Christmas 2015.
You see? The holidays are just even better. Anyway.
They finally kiss. She says it's about time.
Mm-hmm.
This is when her giant wall of hair obscures everything that's happening.
And we know they've taken their friendship to another level.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
That level you always take friendships to.
Well, their partnership, I guess, it wasn't really a...
partnership,
yeah.
Yes.
I like how later, too, when she's at the... You know my feelings for you, when she tells him when they're with his family, and she's got this whole breakdown that she has, and then later when she confesses to the waitress how she feels bad that she embarrassed him in front of his family for telling them all that.
Yep.
Oh.
Again, all stuff you don't need in this movie.
Nope.
All stuff you don't need in this movie.
But it still gets you to know our Dolly, our Jake.
This whole next section that we're going to talk about before the big finale, you don't need it. We don't need Stallone stealing a horse. We don't need that.
Oh my God! Yes, we do!
No,
yes,
we don't.
We do.
I disagree.
Because he rides that horse, and he's just as crazy riding the horse as he was driving the taxi.
He is having banter with this horse.
He doesn't want to. He's reluctant to get the horse, but the cabs won't stop for him, and he can't get a ride otherwise. It's not Uber then. So the horse is his only choice.
You're right.
Oh my God, I loved when he hopped on the horse.
Oh my, okay. I was surprised because I was done. At this point, I was so over it. Oh, wow. Okay.
I was enjoying. I'm telling you,
Okay.
I was giddy still.
Okay.
With the fun I was having.
Well, let's get on with it because he goes home to the funeral home, I guess.
Yep.
And as we said earlier, his parents are throwing him a whole party for some reason.
For just going through his country singing training, I guess.
And is he trying to talk with a southern accent at this point?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I know.
It's so bad.
He calls his family y'all, I think, at one point, right? Yeah. This is when he's in his little cowboy hat and his jean jacket, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when he thinks he's a singer now. Now he thinks he's a singer. Because she talks about the bet. Like, she's like, oh, and I'm going to tear up my contract, and you get that cab
and you'll get that
and everything.
Cab. And he doesn't want the cab.
So confused. No.
He doesn't see. He felt it. He felt a connection with that audience in Tennessee. And he feels like this should be his career. I love the whole time his mom's mumbling. Take the cab. Take the cab.
That's right. As though he's on a game show and he can have what's behind door number 2 or the cab. I like how Dolly says, you're a robot. You're put together like a mud pie.
She is sharp to him. Yeah, like a mud pie. She calls him a mud pie. Because she said, you're not really a singer. You're just, this is all part of a thing. And then she tells him, she keeps it real. She says, do you know what it's really like to be a singer? She's moved from Tennessee to have to live in New York and has to work under this shitty contract at this place. Do you know? The struggle is real.
Yeah, it's just so great what throws him over the edge. Like, you can't call him a bum or a mud pie. Anything else is fine. But those two things,
and
he is not having.
Don't say shit about his wardrobe, all right? Because
right. He said, I'm a trendsetter. I'm dressed. I love driving taxis so much I'm dressed like a cab.
He calls her jealous, doesn't he? Doesn't he call her jealous of him?
Yes, he does.
This is just a case of jealousy is what it is.
This is my problem.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is a movie that they felt as though they needed some sort of tension between these two leads, but you really didn't. Like,
no.
This
but
is
their tension
unearned.
played out like silly, not silly.
Yeah, but I don't think we're supposed to think it's silly.
Well,
I think we're supposed to really, be upset that they're
no, but
mad at each
anytime
other.
she seems genuinely angry, he still is like...
He still doesn't know what's going on set at this point. Oh, my God.
Oh.
I liked it when she punches that guy, and his first line is, hey, I was supposed to do that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like... Maybe he really thought his character was. Maybe he was genuinely upset.
No, I love that was their ongoing little joke there. But anyway.
So this is when Dolly goes back I guess she's at Rhinestone when she's sitting in the dark playing her guitar. And her good friend, her best friend, I guess, this waitress, shows up, and this is when she says how guilty she feels and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the waitress just tries to make her feel better.
Yeah, this is her heartache. She's having a little heartache time.
The waitress does tell her that Freddie, the guy who owns Rhinestone,
right,
has rounded up the worst hecklers in New York City.
Yeah, they're
because he does not want to lose this bet.
And she's decided that she can't have him perform, right? She doesn't want
It's really
Nick
weird
to have to perform,
yeah.
right? She feels bad, I think, what she's put him through. So she wants to end the bet completely.
Yes.
She's going to call it off.
But even later on, right before he goes out, she says to him, and you have to win this audience over. And he goes, what? And she goes, yeah, that's part of the bet. Wait, is it? And did he not know this? Did he think he just had to get up and scream into a microphone and she would win the bet?
No, that he thought, I think, that she was going to sing with him.
Oh.
Right? Didn't he think they were going to go in as a duet? And then he's like, oh, it's just me?
Oh, okay. I just thought he didn't understand that he had to do a good job.
No, I think that he figured, no, we're going to sing together like we did down in, and that's where they're, but that's why he has to turn that song around, because by himself, he's going to sound like Sly Stallone.
We can go back up to Freddie's pad if you want, in his shimmering robe.
Oh, because that's where she decides to go to break the contract. And
yes.
yeah, what is this shimmery robe that he's wearing?
It looks insane. It looks crazy. I didn't even know it was a robe for a little while.
When the competition is going to happen, or the singing is going to happen, he rips the robe off then to get dressed, because Freddie's got to be there, right? But before this, they decide this, yes. They're upstairs. Freddie's excited. He's ready to kind of wine and dine her and steal his part of the bet or the deal. And this is when Sly steals the horse.
Right.
Because he is getting ready to perform and is waiting for Dolly to show up, and gets wind from, I think, the waitress.
Oh, it's the most important character in the movie.
Yeah,
the waitress tells
She's just
him.
getting all the information and dropping it right down. She tells him, well, she's not coming. Don't be looking for her because she's gone to Freddie's. And now he's enraged. He's even pissed when he finds out that was part of the deal. At some point he finds out, she slips at the family party. At the family party, she slips. Because when she said, she goes, oh.
Yep.
Like, I said that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
She slips. That part of the deal was that she sleeps with Freddie. He's like, Freddie's such a skis, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So now he rides up on his literally white horse to save her from Freddie. Meanwhile, when he arrives at Freddie's, she's punched Freddie through the door. Well, wait. First, when he arrives on horseback.
Yes.
Into his lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Goes upstairs, and the door is locked. So he starts tries to ram it open with his body.
Right.
Essentially.
It is funny because every time he kept doing that, I was like, and now the door opens.
No.
And now the door opens and
never
he falls
does.
through. And no, he just bounces off this door 3 to 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about how creepy this Freddy guy is because it's very... Did you notice he has a remote-controlled door lock like Matt Lauer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. This
Matt
creepo
Lauer.
dude. And he's got a rotating bed. And I kind of loved his neon fire where he's like,
oh, yeah.
"Can you light the fire?" It's just neon, blinking on and off. It was kind of funny. But no, he's about to bust the door down. Freddy comes through the door because Dolly just hit him.
Yeah.
And they make up very quickly, and it's time to go and time for him to perform. And he is just tanking. He's trying to tell jokes. He's getting them all wrong.
It's a tough, rocky start. Rocky.
He starts singing, but it's terrible, and he's just bouncing around on stage as he's singing, just hopping like this. That's for all of our listeners. Just imagine that I'm hopping right now.
And he was.
But he wins over the crowd, Jamie.
Well, he starts with like an audience, like a chant almost that he starts up with them, right? Like
first he tells all the beautiful women to yell,
yes,
yay. Just yell yay.
Yay. Yep.
And then he tells all the horny women to yell,
yeah,
yay.
then he takes it there. Sure,
He gets a great response then.
Yep.
And he does. He, like, just totally wins this crowd over by having them yell.
Kind of do, like, a cheer back at him. And then all of a sudden, he busts into it. He, like, spins his hair around, gets this, like, whip in his neck. Yep. And this is when he's just, like, he's in it. This is when I said he's like an Elvis, but a drowning Elvis. Because he is not a good singer. Like,
nope.
When I sing karaoke, this is what I sound like. Sometimes our patrons get to hear my singing, and they know I'm not good. And you just get so into it, and you're like, that's what a lot of these performances were. It was like watching Sly karaoke when Dolly Parton would sing along. And this, though, when he jumps into this, all of a sudden he feels it. This is bigger than when he felt it in Tennessee. This is this New York audience.
He's not shy. Like, that's the thing that I wasn't really buying, was him ever being shy. Like,
no, but he's nervous
to get on stage.
I could see nervous, yeah.
I guess, but he's screaming and yelling Drinkenstein. He's yelling and jumping sidewalks in cabs and stuff. He's not a shy guy, and he's...
Sure.
I'm just surprised he would ever be nervous, but I know he has to be for these situations.
Well, he needed his Dolly with him.
Yep. And she comes out, they do a duet. The same duet we saw earlier.
And they have so much. Oh, same duet, yes. But they have not in these sparkly outfits. There is so much sparkling and shaking happening. So much on the screen.
So much fringe on his outfit. It is like one of those Vegas Elvis outfits in that it has all that fringe and everything. Then after they sing their song, they're like doing a Sonny and Cher bit. They're insulting each other, cracking jokes. The audience is into it, and the crowd loves again.
It. More songs. Doesn't stop.
Through the credits, we get another full-length song.
Yeah, I can only imagine how fun it was.
Because your terrible YouTube version just cut off?
Yes.
Okay.
So Rhinestone-y, so fun.
Is there any reason to even ask you what your
I think we know. I'm so sad that I didn't hear of this movie before I moved to Tennessee. It would have changed my whole outlook on the town of Leaper's Fork. And just even my transition into Tennessee, it would have maybe helped. I don't know. It just would have been nice to know this movie was around. I had so much fun watching it. And I got like giddy watching Sly. I was like, he's so goofy. And she was just great. Her songs were all great. Her performance was great. I loved it. Yeah. I was into it.
That's great. I was not as on board as you. I did have a lot of fun, like I said, with the first half. Then I was really out of it, and I just wasn't. It was too long.
See, I didn't feel that mine, but maybe because I missed 15 minutes.
You did watch an hour 25, and mine was an hour 50.
But I enjoyed, like you said, too much singing, and they saying the sad song twice. I liked watching them up there together. I thought it was, but I like Dolly's music and Doll. Well, you like Dolly too.
I do.
And I just thought it was so funny to see Sly in that way. It was fun to me.
Yeah, I mean, he bought into this. He was giving it everything he had. I'm not saying to not watch this movie. I'm saying if anybody has any interest in it, it's probably worth your time. This just isn't anything I'd want to watch again. But I'm glad that this gave you the feeling that Can't Stop the Music gave me.
Oh, there you go.
And that's why we do this, right? They're discoveries.
I think so. For the discovery.
It is.
I agree. I
never would have watched this. I never would have watched this
I didn't know it existed. My family. When we grew up, I watched Rocky. We were big. We liked Sly Stallone because he was Italian American. I grew up in Italian, whatever. I didn't know. I think my dad didn't ever watch this movie, and I don't know. The last time my dad was in town when we watched Smoky Mountains Christmas, and I wish that he was in town to watch Rhinestone with me because. Well, first of all, because Slicegiving is something you should celebrate with your loved ones, always.
No, definitely, yes. Anyway, do you have a recommendation from this movie? Did this movie make you think of anything?
I did, actually. I don't
nice.
know if I recommended this show before. I feel like I might have because I like it. It's Dying Up Here. It's a show about stand-up comedians.
I don't
it's
know
a Showtime.
if you did, but
No?
go ahead. I don't know.
I don't recall either. It's a Showtime, but I think you could find it on Amazon or some other sort of. It's about stand-up comedians in the 70s, and it's this small group of. I think it's sort of true to, somewhat based off of truth. It's a group of stand-up comedians that get into comedy in the 70s in LA, and it's just interesting take on their stories. I think it's 2 seasons.
Okay.
2 seasons, I think it has.
All right.
Some great performances, and not quite the singing.
No.
The Dolly.
There's less singing in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it does have I don't know why it had maybe the performance part and the stand-up part was what it had in common, but it was what came to mind. Sometimes the recommendations just come to me right after the movie.
No,
Sometimes
that's fine.
They're a little more
I had to
profound.
think of mine after the fact, too. Way after the fact. Perhaps right before we just started to record.
Oh, what'd you come out with?
Mine is a David Lynch movie, of course.
Okay.
And it's The Straight Story, which is his most, reserved, linear, normal movie.
Okay.
And because it stars Richard Farnsworth as an old man who drives from Iowa to Wisconsin on a lawnmower to visit his sick, estranged brother. And it's such a nice... It's still very David Lynchy in the way that it's shot, and it's still kind of bizarre, but it's like a family... I think it's rated G. It's like a family-friendly movie. The performances are great, and you wouldn't think a movie about a guy driving several states on a lawnmower would be captivating, but it totally
But somehow it is.
Yes.
All right, I'll take it.
So, everybody, I hope that you just... you're sitting on your couch after eating your turkey for Slysgiving, and everything's digesting, and it's another Slysgiving in the books, and who knows what we'll do next time. I don't even know. There's so many movies. He was in so many movies in the 80s.
I'm excited.
He did that arm wrestling movie over the
Oh
top.
yeah, I thought that's what Cobra was.
That's what you thought. What?
Cobra was when we did Cobra, before we did
you were
Cobra.
ready. Oh, man. Like his arm is like a python. Well, I guess it's a cobra. It wouldn't be a different kind of snake. You know the movie Cobra? Where they talk about pythons the whole time?
They talk about the dude with the python arm.
Right. All right, so we're going to dip back into that deep Tom Cruise well.
Oh.
And we're going to do the movie Legend.
Legend?
Yes. Have you ever seen Legend?
No.
You can say no. You don't need to just shake your head. We are recording. It's like a fantasy movie.
Yes, I know it.
Okay, all right. It's probably the closest thing to The Last Unicorn that we've done since The Last Unicorn. Tim Curry. He plays like a devil Satan monster or something like that. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. We will also have a bonus Christmas episode for patrons. Mm-hmm. And we will also have a bonus Christmas TV special for patrons.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, so get ready for that. Mm-hmm. If you are a Patreon patron at the $5 level or more, you're going to get 4 episodes in December, and everybody else is just going to have 2 Tony dances there. I mean, don't complain. It's fine. 1 is or 2 is better than 1 when it comes to Tony Danza, of course.
I agree.
How many orangutans and Danny DeVitos are going to be in this? Upwards of 1 each?
No, there's 3, I think, of the monkeys.
3 Danny DeVitos?
Oh, no, of the monkeys, I think.
I'd watch that though.
Just 3
Just
Danny
multiplicity, but with Danny DeVitos. Are you okay?
No,
right.
Well, yes, I am, but...
All right. So, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Follow us on the Twitters and the Facebooks. And
on all the myths.
Yeah, give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate it. We appreciate you listening. find our Patreon page, give us money to get bonus content. And, I did receive a question about that, and I don't know how many people actually have this question, but it's worth bringing up. If you subscribe to our Patreon, you get everything that we've done before. It's not like you're in and you're just starting in December. You get all of our past
you get the previous
episodes.
content.
Yes.
Sure.
Everything is there. Everything is available to you
all
the
accessible.
moment you sign up. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Have at it. It's a good time.
Just have at it.
Yeah, have at it.
Just have at it. Do what you want. Whatever. All right, everybody, we will see you. I think I already said goodbye. I think this was all Patreon stuff. All right, see ya. Bye.
All right, ciao.
Gotta go. Show those guys the goodness. Gotta go. Show those guys the goodness. Swing to the east, swing to the west. She's the one that I love best. Gotta go. Show those guys the crazy. Wow! Do the fruit. Hallelujah. She rocks to the east. She rocks to the west. She's the girl that I love best. Do the fruit. Hallelujah. Wow! Do the fruit. Hallelujah. Wow! Do the fruit. Hallelujah. You're my kind of girl. A wop, bop, a loop up, a pop, bam, boom. Thank you and good night.
You're like, elections don't matter. Look at this. This happened when Reagan was in office. If this can happen, anything can happen.